Latina Sarmasakis Starrett, and this is my 15th year teaching here at Red Lion. My parents are both teachers. They both came from immigrant parents and people who were overcomers. You know, all of my grandparents seem to really thrive in this country. They're lovely people. Many of them were godly people. They had integrity and character. They were hard workers. And growing up, it was such a blessing to have family that we loved so much. So growing up, we used to camp. You know, we had summers off as my parents were both teachers. We led a kind of quiet life, but a great life. We had lots of fun. Family we loved. I loved my sisters. You know, I loved my parents, my cousins. We'd go camping and fishing and do a lot of outdoorsy things, a lot of traveling in the summer. Went to church faithfully. We would get dropped off for church as well. But it wasn't until my senior year that I understood the gospel message. When someone, a young man, took the time to come to Brandywine High and have a little Bible study, he brought his guitar, he sang a few songs, and he shared the gospel message. And it was that year, my senior year, that I accepted Jesus into my heart. Prior to that, I knew that I was a sinner, that I wanted to go to heaven. I had faith, but I also was, trying to work my way into heaven. And it wasn't until I heard the gospel message that it's by faith alone that we are saved that I understood truly where I would spend eternity. And I had that assurance at that time. When I was 5, I went to the zoo in Wilmington and I entered a little art contest. I started drawing a horse and I got frustrated drawing my horse, and so I promptly threw my horse, crumpled up my paper and threw it in the trash can. My mother realized I wasn't drawing anymore and made me pick the trash, get my picture out and finish it, which is probably why I don't mind finding treasures in the trash even to this day. Dumpster diving on occasion, but also it taught me perseverance, that you just don't start things and not finish them. I remember a few weeks later going back to the zoo and seeing a blue ribbon on my drawing. When we moved to Bear, Delaware from Wilmington, we had 2 children and we got very plugged into Glasgow Reformed Presbyterian Church. At that time, I was in a Bible study. I started attending. I started growing exponentially in my faith. Shortly thereafter, I spoke to Sharon Betters about starting a Christmas presentation, like a living history. And I was used to start the drama ministry at Glasgow Reformed Presbyterian Church. So we did something called a Christmas journey. I remember all these amazing people who were involved, people who could sing, people who could act, people who could sew. So that night, people would come and see living history of the first Christmas. That kind of evolved into musicals down the road. Again, God equips His people to do the things He calls them to do. So I get to come to school and I get to help with, the theater, having done some directing, some sets. I get to work with kids, which I love, to impact people. I get to do all the things that God has gifted me to do, the things that He's given me a passion to do. I get to do them. What an amazing blessing. Not just that, I get to share, the things that matter most, and those are things that deal with Jesus, things of eternity. I like to share in 6th grade about a little boy who went to Wilmington Christian, who loved Jesus. He used to write in his diary, "Lord, I can't wait to meet you." And when he was in 6th grade in elementary school, he was found in his bed with Jesus. And I like to share that story, not to scare kids, but to show the excitement that this young boy had and his love of Jesus, and that we can have that. And God can use you. You know, I have kids that say, you know, when I get older, I'm going to be an artist. And I say, why wait? How about be an artist now? When I get older, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, God can use you young people today, now.